A very good evening to you. I'm Pearson Bowen. There won't be any sea egg season this year. The ban, which has been in effect for several years, is still in place. Peter Thorne has the story.
Confirmation of this from Chief Fisheries Officer Stephen Willoughby, who says the ban will remain in effect indefinitely. CBC also understands that the Fisheries Division has made several recommendations to the Agriculture Ministry in this regard, including continuing the closed season. Over the past several years and again this year, divers have been out in the sea at various sites across the island trying to determine if there are enough mature sea eggs to harvest. CBC understands that the sightings have reported an abundance of the sea urchins on beaches across Barbados, but the issue of poaching remains a major concern for the authorities. Just last week, 3 St. John men were caught illegally harvesting sea eggs and were fined $1,000 each with an alternative of 3 months at Dodds Prison after appearing in the district sea court. The last time sea eggs were harvested in Barbados in a full season was 2004, although limited harvesting has been allowed since then. Peter Thorne, CBC News.
Government has been told that pumping more money into the CARICOM Development Fund will help spur economic growth for Barbados. That's the view of Dr. Alvin Hilaire, the chairman of the board of directors of the CDF. He's been putting a case to officials from Barbados and across the region gathered at the Courtyard Marriott for the 4th meeting of contributors and development partners of the fund. Despite limited resources, Barbados contributed $7 million to the $100 million fund and is one of a few countries which hasn't borrowed from the facility. Dr. Hilaire has commended Barbados for its mature approach, noting that helping other CARICOM member states with their development agenda will also benefit Barbados in the long run.
I think it's commendable that in a situation of admittedly economic difficulties, that Barbados has been able to look at the big picture and to support the Caribbean as a whole in a difficult time for the country, looking towards the future, because we are in it all together. Ultimately, the Caribbean rises and falls together, and I think Barbados's approach is very mature to look at the big picture and the long term, because as the Caribbean region gets better, then also Barbados would improve.
The CDF chairman, however, stressed the need to tackle the issues of economic growth of CARICOM member states in the short to medium term.
To make sure that countries actually benefit in the short term and be able to grow successfully, you need to see tangible results. We've been having that. We have the airport in St. Vincent the Grenadines. For Antigua and Barbuda, a recent program to improve the cruise ship facilities as well as a learning resource center, and in some other countries, infrastructural works, Guyana, Belize, and so forth. So there's a lot going on, but we think it just needs to step up to reach the next level.
Tourism Minister Richard Seeley is the new chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. Mr. Seeley was elected yesterday during the organization's annual general meeting in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I look forward to putting my very best foot forward and working along with all of the other entities in the region, not only, of course, the membership of CTO, but the various partner organizations and stakeholders, and to deal with some of the vexing problems that we have right now with tourism. And of course, to continue the good work that has been done by this organization recently. The CTO is also going through its own changes, constitutionally and otherwise, and we need to make sure we can continue doing some very good work for the region.
Mr. Seeley replaces Beverly Nicholson Doty as CTO chair. In her parting address, Ms. Doty urged the CTO fraternity to recommit to the regional vision for the industry, which provides the platform for success for the peoples of the Caribbean. She also noted that the rebranding of the Caribbean with respect to the British air passenger duty, which allowed the region to be more competitive, is an accomplishment. Well, it's the Olympics of flower art competitions. We're talking about the World Flower Show. And Barbados has been able to beat out Russia in a bid to host that event. It will be held in June 2017, and President of the World Association of Floral Artists, or WAFA, and Barbados Association of Flower Arrangers, or BAFA, Maurice Webster, says the event will be significant for Barbados tourism product.
Since we've returned from Ireland, we've already had inquiries from tour companies to get information on hotels, to get information on locations for the show and so on, because they are already promoting the trip to Barbados in 2017. As a matter of fact, quite a few of the same tour companies have indicated that they have already put the information in their tour literature.
Mr. Webster says representatives from one country alone have already indicated that they will need to book 50 double rooms for their delegation. Vice President of WAFA, Jennifer Weech, spoke more about the 2017 show.
The name of WAFA show that we're hosting for Barbados, for the world rather, is Flowers in Paradise, and it's going to be held the 18th to the 25th of June 2017. So we're right in the throes of planning it to host all of these people from these 31 countries that are members of WAFA. 31 countries that are members of WAFA. And we're expecting delegations from each of those countries to come.
Well, the BAFA will be holding a local flower and tea show next month at Alaro Court entitled Mass Fusion as part of the build-up to the World Show in 2017. 7 Barbadians were today presented with insignias awarded in the Queen's birthday honors for their service to this country. Receiving the insignia of Commander of the Order of the British Empire were David Bowen and Lionel Nurse for their contribution to public service, as well as Dr. Patricia Downs Grant for her services to the financial sector. 3 persons received the insignia of Officer of the Order of the British Empire. There were Patricia Lane for her service as Private Secretary to 3 Governors General of Barbados, Bertie Hines for his service to the Royal Barbados Police Force, and Dr. Adrian Lord for his contribution to sports medicine. The insignia of the Member of the Order of the British Empire was awarded to Desmond Brown for his work in education. The Grisette's Primary School will be closed again tomorrow. The Ministry of Education says it regrets any inconvenience the closure may cause and will inform parents or guardians about its reopening shortly. Only today, the school reopened after closing early on Monday until yesterday, owing to an environmental problem. More news ahead in just a moment. Time now for you to become interactive on this question. In light of increased sightings of sea eggs, should authorities grant a limited harvesting period this year? Text yes or no to short code 8111. The results at the end of the news.
Dear Clark, I've made a fascinating discovery. The institutional water cooler. Its gravitational pull sucks people from their workstations at the busiest times of day to stand around it and chat about emerging global trends like, will pink be in fashion next season? Meanwhile, the world slows to a stop as it waits in line to be served. I don't see that trend at Globe Finance.
Globe Finance. Think outside the bank.
When it comes to their financial service, slow is out, swift is in.
Barbadian motorists are reminded there is a system in place should their vehicle be damaged by the island's roads. Minister of Transport and Works, Michael Lashley, provided some insight into how this program works as he toured a roadworks project at Sealy Hall, St. Philip.
We have a system in place where you can claim up to $2,500. Thereon, you have to go to the SG chambers. And we have actually settled some claims. But we have not had an influx of claims. We haven't had an influx of claims. No, we haven't had an influx of claims at all.
Well, despite the longest serving member of the Cave Hill campus was recognized for her contribution today when the Learning Resource Center was renamed the Elizabeth Watson Audiovisual Unit. The librarian, who served for more than 40 years, has been credited with revamping and refurbishing the entire interior of the main library, which includes creating a cell room where students work in groups, establishing a cashier system to manage monies owed to the library, and creating the Carrie-Ann Eiffel unit for the visually impaired. She started at the campus in 1968 as a library clerk and in 1979 was appointed librarian of the Resource Center. She held that position until 2008. She is responsible for the development of the largest tertiary-level audiovisual collection in the Anglophone Caribbean, housing more than 20,000 items. Well, today, the wall to the entrance of that department bears her name.
My career at Cave Hill has truly been rewarding. To be able to state I was the founding librarian of a significant collection is an opportunity and an experience few librarians can claim. That the collection has become such an integral part of the life of the campus is the best reward one could have as a professional. To be part of a novel academic initiative which has redounded to the benefit of students, teaching staff, researchers, and the wider community is testimony not only to my own work, but also recognition of all those who have contributed to the creation and building of this unit.
Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal Sir Hilary Beckles says Watson is a builder of the campus and an advocate for preserving knowledge. He lauded her for what she has accomplished as librarian, the several papers and 3 books she has published, as well as the research she has undertaken for the Commonwealth of Learning. He said her vast knowledge will soon be sought by students making the researcher the researched.
Had you not stayed the course and showed maximum professional engagement, that we would not be in the position today that we are in, with one of the finest collections in the world in Caribbean iconographic cultural material, a person who can speak to it, a person who is researching it. You are still doing your PhD, I believe. Well, there you go. Lifelong learning.
Regional news next, but first, let's hear again from you on this question tonight. In light of increased sightings of sea eggs, should authorities grant a limited harvesting period this year? We'd like you to text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll share those results at the end of the news.